Welcome to the Coming Strength and Fitness podcast. I'm Jill, coach and owner of CS&F. My team and I are here to help you take charge of your fitness and nutrition. In each episode, we'll provide you our best so that you can take your health to the next level. I hope you enjoyed today's episode with our host and coach, Alex Cottingham.
Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Coming Strength and Fitness podcast. I'm excited because I have a special guest here on the pod that I've been trying to get on the podcast for a long time, and it is officially happening because I got to give the people what they want.
Okay.
There have been thousands of requests.
Thousands.
Wow. So
didn't know you knew 1,000 people, so.
I don't, but I just made that number up.
Great.
Shelby Thurman.
Hi, guys.
Coach Shelby here at Coming Strength and Fitness. So if this is news to you, Coach Shelby has actually been on-ramping her coaching skills, and she's going to be a part-time coach here at Coming Strength and Fitness. So we wanted to provide a 20-30-minute conversation on all things get to know Coach Shelby because she is worth getting to know.
Yeah.
So,
can't wait.
Coach Shelby, what is your primary emotion you're feeling right now?
I'm a little nervous. I don't know why. Something about talking in this microphone is a little intimidating. But other than that, it's a beautiful day.
It is.
It is like 75 degrees, and I feel fall coming in the air. So I'm like, other than the nervous energy I'm feeling, a little bit of excitement about fall. So.
Well, fun fact, this isn't the one and only time you've ever spoken or sang into a microphone.
Oh, gosh.
There's fun fact. Shelby, what is that fun fact?
I lead worship on the side, another part-time gig.
Yes, you do sing.
I do sing. I will not sing in this microphone, though. So sorry.
I wasn't going to ask you because I knew the answer was no,
Yep.
but you are a singer.
I mean, I did sing Happy Birthday for You the other day, so
that's true.
That's probably the only time people will hear me sing.
That's as far as we're going to get.
Yeah.
If we ever do like the national anthem for one of our competitions,
You will not get me to
I'm
sing
going
either.
to like call you out.
You've already tried.
Shelby, for the people who don't know you, give us just the fun facts, a 60-second rundown of just like who you are.
Cool. I'm Shelby Thurman, born and raised in Mississippi, moved to Georgia in 2018. So I now currently live in Beaufort, Georgia, in Gwinnett County. I'm a GC girl. I have a older brother, Bryce, who's married to my best friend, Ansley.
That's cool.
I remind him every day she was my best friend first. They live in Gwinnett as well. They have two boys, Cooper and Graham, which are my entire world. So I am a proud aunt to those boys. I also have a little brother, Eli, who just married Ellie. So I have another amazing sister-in-law. My parents moved here about 7 months ago, so we're all Georgia residents now.
There you go.
I work for North Point Ministries. I am a project manager for our high school environment, so my whole job is managing our camps and retreats and just everyday projects for our high school environments for all of our churches, for North Point Church. So North Point Community Church. So I'm a Jesus follower. I love sports, primarily soccer. It's my sport. If you ever want to talk about soccer, I'm your girl. I love to eat. I love to hang out with my family. I'm an OCD freak, so if you see my car, my room, anything, I'm a clean freak. Yeah, I feel like that might be the only thing. I'm probably accident prone. That might be a fun fact for the people to know.
Shelby, how many injuries
I've lost count at this point.
It's too many to count.
Yeah, in the almost 2 years I've been here, I've had a couple, but a little accident prone. So if you talk about all my injuries, I can tell you I have like a bionic leg.
Literally.
So
that can be a story for another day.
That's another story, yeah. But that's kind of just the snapshot of my life.
Shelby, you did phenomenal.
Thanks.
There.
I feel like I'm leaving some stuff out, but I can't.
You always
everything.
do.
Yeah.
You can't fit it in 60
That's
seconds. Fun fact is this is actually not the first time me and you've ever worked together.
No.
Well, how did that ever come to be, Shelby?
Alex and I worked together. I used to work at Buckhead Church
Yeah.
With our high school ministry, and Alex and I worked together for almost 2 years.
Yes.
Did you start in 2020?
Yes.
The beginning of 2020.
January 2020
Yep.
when the world was normal for
That's
2
right.
months.
2 months. We had 2 normal months in the office
Yes.
together, and then things went crazy. So we worked together for 2 years at Buckhead Church. And we realized very quickly that we were very similar, and we butted heads all the time. So can't wait to work with you again.
No, we didn't.
Not all the time.
Pure bliss, Shelby.
It was so fun.
Yes, that was fun. That's kind of where our stories intersected,
Yep.
and then we'll kind of follow up later on how that kind of intersected with CS&F
Mm-hmm.
as well. But it's funny, we've chatted before. We've known each other. We're friends for several years now. So I'm just trying to give a snapshot
Yep.
of you that you've always said, hey, I've always thought of being a coach. And you said soccer has always been a big passion of yours. You've always seen yourself being a soccer coach.
Yep.
And that could happen down the road.
Yep.
But right now that you see yourself being a CrossFit coach,
Yep.
which is so cool. And we're going to kind of get to that part towards the end of this conversation. Before we get there, I would love for you to just kind of go through more of like your health journey, your athletic journey, and what some of your preconceived notions of working out and just what you've kind of realized pre-CS&F, and then we'll kind of come to like what brought you to CS&F. So give us like a couple minutes on what you were doing all things health and fitness before CS&F.
Well, like I said, I'm a soccer fan. So I grew up playing soccer. My dad played professionally, and so all of the Thurman kids just grew up with the soccer ball at our feet. And I loved the sport. It was one that I just kind of dove into head first at a young age. So if Andy June ever needs a soccer coach, she can call me. That's right. She just started playing soccer, and it's my favorite. But grew up playing soccer. I loved it a lot. Did it all through high school. With that, a couple injuries came about that ultimately led to me not being able to play anymore. Just it was the you continue playing and you may never be able to walk again. Those kind of conversations. I had some neck injuries that halted my senior year especially. And it just kind of progressed to the point where I could no longer play. And so my freshman year of college was kind of a blur. When I was told I couldn't play anymore, it was like, what do I do with my life now? Like I have been known as this soccer player for so long, could run for hours and hours, loved the sport, saw myself doing that in college, and it just kind of fell apart, and that was no longer the option. So my freshman year, I kind of dove into running just because it was the only thing that I knew to do. So I would just set a timer on my watch, and before I had to study, I would run an hour and a half just to clear my head, would run probably more than half a marathon just to like clear my head and get some space before I had to study. And it was just all that I knew.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that was, you ran.
When I was at Mississippi State, that's all I did was just run the campus, different sides of it, ran through all of Starkville, Mississippi. I was also in like a super deep depression freshman year, and that was kind of the only way I could clear my head was movement. And obviously that we talk a lot about Holo Health now because I'm a huge believer in Holo Health, but didn't really realize that that piece of movement for me was medicine. So that was a little bit of my freshman year. Through all of my moves through college, I eventually graduated from Southern Miss, was kind of just bouncing around the Planet Fitness world, the gyms on my college campuses just to move because it was something that was familiar, but I'd never really like plugged back into any form of movement, honestly, till I moved to Georgia. When I moved to Georgia, it was kind of the Globo gym.
What year was that? When did you move to Georgia?
I moved here in 2018.
Okay.
So I was just kind of working out at LA Fitness. I did the beach body thing at LA Fitness, was just like in my corner doing my own thing. And I was so terribly bored of it. But for me, movement, like as I was trying to figure it out for myself in my adult age, it was so much of body manipulation for me. I was trying to get a number on a scale that was I would have never reached again. I was trying to hit this 18-year-old idea of Shelby at 23 years old. And so I was just working out, trying to get this number down on a scale. So I was doing the beach body thing. I was doing 75 hard multiple times. I was doing a whole 30 thing. And that was movement to me because I just didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a community of people that were encouraging me because I
didn't know any different.
I didn't know any different, but I had missed so much of that team sport aspect of movement, and I didn't even realize it. And then in that was just looking at what culture was saying my body should look like, what I should be doing, and that's what I was running after. And that ultimately kind of led me right up to the time that I met you at Buckhead Church in 2020. I met Hannah first and knew about you and that you did CrossFit, but didn't know much about that other than CrossFit was CrossFit, and I was not fit enough for CrossFit is the idea that I had in my head. So right up to the point that I met you, I think I was like on my 75 hard kick where I was doing that like every other 75 days. I'd like do 75 days and then be done and then do it again and then again and again. And you just kept trying to get me here. And that ultimately led me up to Coming Strength and Fitness.
I think you did a phenomenal job recapping your health story in a couple minutes.
27 years, so it's a lot to recap.
I think a lot of people can relate to that too, because so many people come with preconceived notions of what health is or how to achieve quote unquote health. That there's so much noise in social media because we have so much accessibility at our fingertips of 75 hard, whole 30, keto, diet trends, intermittent fasting, bodybuilding. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong inherently with each of those.
Yeah.
There are healthy habits and keystone things that you can do as far as moving more and prioritizing whole, clean, real foods. But what happens is they're not sustainable. And like you said, the motivations are off and wrong, and they're missing key core components of community and coaching and other stuff like that.
I mean, I was strictly doing all of those things because I wanted my body to be what society told me it needed to be.
Exactly.
It was not anything for my like holistic health. It was all because, oh no, I'm not the 115 pounds I was when I was 18 years old.
Right.
And I need to get back to that.
Right.
And I got to a point, I was a vegan, I was under eating, I was like the lowest weight that I have ever been, and I felt miserable. I had no energy. I couldn't even do half the stuff that we were doing in here because I was just skin and bones.
I remember that.
Yeah. So that was kind of when I started, which is insane.
So Shelby, we worked together more corporately at the church, and I will admit, I will not confess that I pestered you, but I did extend invitations multiple
times. A couple times.
And you finally said yes. And your first time was when?
It was the Holo Health Seminar, and it was that end of January?
It was January of 2022.
Yep.
So context, this is almost 2 years later. And for people who are like, wait, what was that? I have also a business called Holo Health that helps people holistically more in like the church realm as well. So we hosted a seminar back in 2022, which was absolutely phenomenal. We had some guest speakers come in. We did movement, we did content, we did small group, we had catered lunch. It was so fun. And that was the first time you actually experienced like a different way forward when it comes to your health. So Shelby, tell us just kind of some of the ways your eyes were opened, and then walk us through that journey of after that.
You offered the invitation multiple times, and I was a huge believer of Holo Health. I read the book, and so when you left Buckhead Church to come here full time, I was like, I'm a huge fan. Like, I'm gonna be a good friend and like go to the seminar. I remember getting the itinerary, and on the itinerary it said that we were doing workouts, and I remember texting you being like, what the heck is this whole thing? You're planning this entire seminar just to get me here to come do CrossFit, because you and Hannah both had been telling me for so long, you just got to give it a shot. I think you'd love it. So I show up that weekend, and I remember the first workout on that Friday night. It was an EMOM, and we did.
Yes, it was biking, box jumps, and dumbbell snatches. I remember that.
And those, if you know me, those are some of my favorite movements here. I'm really good on a bike. I love box jumps, and dumbbell snatches. I can just like rip and grip them.
Yeah.
And I remember doing it, and in my head, I was like, this isn't a competition, Shelby. Just do it. And I did it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And it was a team workout. There were 3 of us, so we were each going through each of the different movements, and we were just doing it for a minute. And we got done that night. I went home, and the whole way home, I was like, dang it, they were right. And so I texted you and Hannah that night, and I was like, Alex, I think you're right. That was really fun.
I remember that text.
Yep. So I showed up the next day, and I was really excited. I was really sore from the day before because, like I said, I was like really skin and bones. So like lifting even a 20-pound dumbbell for dumbbell snatches was like hard for me.
Sure.
So I was really sore. We did some mobility with Jill that morning, and then we did another workout, and then Hannah and I went on a walk, and I told Hannah, like, I think I'm moving to Cumming in a couple weeks. I think I'm going to sign up.
Yeah.
I think I can make it work with budget. Like, I'm going to do it. And she was so excited. Obviously, you were excited, and I did fundamentals with you. And I remember being like, man, these movements are a lot more difficult than I thought that they would be. What the heck is Olympic lifting? I have no idea what a clean is. Like, I just know a clean with a mop and a broom, you know, like, what is this? And I like have videos of those first few days of just learning the movements and feeling proud of myself when I like finally remembered how to do it without having to watch the video before. And so that week of fundamentals was so helpful for me just to feel confident to step foot into class. And then I stepped foot into my first adult class at 4:30, and I met Jamie Payne and Yvette Maldonado. Yeah, my girls. It was a rowing workout and some barbell movement. I can't even remember what we did. And those ladies have been my girls since the first day. Like, they cheered me on that day. Even when I was like dead on the floor, they were like you did so great. They were just were my biggest fans for my first day. And I never felt alone walking in here. If I had questions, I could go obviously to the coach. But I also had ladies that were there like in my corner cheering me on. And that's kind of the thing that kept me coming back. I was originally supposed to be a 6 a.m. athlete, and I met those ladies at the 4:30, and I have been a 4:30 athlete ever since because they're just my people. And when I'm not here, they text me, they check in on me.
Where are you at?
And so it's just kind of been one of those things, like the community piece of it has been what has honestly continued to make me step foot in these doors, and they've held me accountable when I'm injured, even to continue to show up and to still work. And to put in the work, because I see the benefits of it in myself, but they also see it in me too. So I think that has been some of my favorite pieces of being here at CS&F. Like, obviously, I've been learning the movements as I have gone on as an athlete, and gotten more confident in those, and through nutrition, through all of the things that I've done over the almost past 2 years, I can just sense like so much more confidence in myself, and the abilities that I can do it. Like, I can do hard things. I can lift heavy, and how cool is that my body can do that. So that kind of led me up to I guess the past few months of our conversations with me coaching.
Yeah. We say a lot around here that people come for the fitness but stay for the community. And it's so true that you come for a specific goal, you reach those goals, and you push past those goals, but yet you have your people, you have your tribe pushing you, encouraging you, texting you, and that's exactly what you've experienced.
I mean, I don't even live in Cumming anymore.
Right.
When I started, I was 10 minutes down the road, and in my 2 years here, I have now moved twice. I lived in Alpharetta for a year, and then now I'm over in Buford. And I see the commute as worth it because of the people here. I tried other gyms, and there was just nothing like this one.
Yeah.
I tried one that was 5 minutes from my house, but I still see it as it is important for me to be here because I have invested in these relationships, and I'm not just going to let them go.
Yeah, that's good.
They're worth it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Shelby, I would love, before we kind of go into the coaching realm, is for you to unpack for a minute the difference in your mindset, almost like pre and post.
Yeah.
Talking about how I was pursuing something for image manipulation. I was trying to hit a number on a scale, and it really did not lead to my healthiest self.
Yep.
Where now there is very minimal pressure or focus on some of those things, and it's more about what our bodies can do.
Right.
How has your mindset shifted just being here?
I would say pre-stepping foot in here, I was exhausted. I had no energy. I was constantly worried about the way that I looked, the way that my clothes fit my body, the way that the world perceived me. And I would say now I am confident, not because of the way that I look, but because of the things that my body is capable of doing.
Exactly.
And the things that God has created my body to be able to do. And I think that shift has been amazing, especially like I'm a pastor's kid. I didn't mention that in the beginning, but I grew up struggling so much with my identity. Like, where do I fit into this world? I'm a soccer player. I'm a pastor's kid. I'm a younger sister and a older sister. I'm the middle kid. Like, I had all the identity pieces of my life that I was so like confused growing up of who I was and what I wanted to be. And I feel like since joining here, the confidence that I have like built just by like being able to lift really heavy and do things that I never thought that I could do, I have like grounded myself so much more in my purpose that God has designed me, has created me in his image for his purpose. And to be able to walk in that confidence, I think has just like completely shifted over the past 2 years. And a lot of that is like the people here, like I said earlier, it's what my body is able to do.
Yes.
And then it's just like, I think the energy like that I like feed off of the people as they're like cheering me on, rooting me on, praying for me, checking in on me. I think that has all shifted so much of who I am now. So
I love the quote that states, the pursuit of your ideal weight may not lead to your healthiest self, but the pursuit of your healthiest self will lead to your ideal weight. And that's what you were saying. Like, I'm now focused on what my body can do and just like how God has given me this body. And what's cool is a byproduct of this is a healthy, fit body that we like what we see in the mirror. And I would almost argue that probably what you were looking for pre-CS&F are probably some of the things that you've either achieved now or what you're really a lot closer to now than you were back then.
Yeah. I mean, we've been given these bodies to steward, and so I want to steward it well, and I feel like I have accomplished that. Not even accomplished it, but I'm like 1% better to that every single day. And I'm just so grateful that my body is able to do what it's able to do. So yeah, I think that's a huge piece of it.
Have you had some people over the past 2 years been like, Shelby, what are you doing? Like, you're working out, or like what gym you go to? Like, are you getting some comments now?
I have gotten a few. The other day we were at Lowe's and we were looking for screws for a TV mount with my roommates. And one of the people there said, "You just look like you're going to beat someone up." And I was just walking in and I was like, "What does that mean?"
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, "You just have like good posture, but then your shoulders, I don't know. You just look like you're about to punch someone all the time." And I was like, "I'm not even trying. I'm so sorry I look that way." But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, creatine and some good nutrition will do that too.
I am so fit that I could look like I'm about
I
to
was like,
punch
do
you.
I slouch? I don't know what to do here.
Oh my gosh. That's like a backhanded compliment,
I know. I was like,
guess.
thank you, I guess.
That's funny. So Shelby, you are our most recent coach here at CS&F. You've been moving and grooving with some teens and kids, and now you're starting to step into some adult classes. My main question around that is why?
Yeah.
Why coaching? How did you see yourself? Like, what's the motivation behind that? Like, talk about that.
Yeah. I think a big piece of wanting to be a coach, I grew up with such amazing coaches. Playing soccer my whole life, I've had really great coaches and I've had some not great coaches. And I learned such like foundational things about movement when I was young from my coaches. So I always knew I wanted to do that. I did not think that it would be CrossFit. Like, I just started CrossFit almost 2 years ago. So even when the conversation came about, I think a little bit of imposter syndrome kind of set in. Like, am I able to do this? But then I think thinking back on what I had growing up, I just so want like other people to experience what I got to at a young age, but in a way that I'm like able to I'm figuring this out at 27 in my own life about movement and like the way to look at your body and like what your body can do and what it's capable of doing. I'm figuring that out now.
Yes.
But if I would have learned that so much younger, I think my life and my trajectory in my life would have like I would have been set on such a different path. And so I think that's what I'm like mostly excited about, like especially doing teens right now. I love getting to see, like, it's only been maybe a month at this point working with teens, but even just the confidence is like, we're working with this student on just getting a sit up and like the progression as he's like figuring out how to like utilize his core and how to build his core. It's just been really like fulfilling for me as they're like, it's clicking and they're getting it. And I'm excited to start working with adults to be able to see that as well. And I just think it's things that I wish that I would have had that I can now like bring to someone else that I'm really excited about.
And you can now, with the tools you have, give back so you can impact for positive life change.
Absolutely.
Shelby, this has been awesome. I hope and pray that people have gotten a clear snapshot, a better picture of who Coach Shelby is. Last question is, what's the future look like for Coach Shelby? Both CS&F, personally, like, I know you're so young, we're both so young, like, you have so many years ahead of you. What are your hopes, dreams, and desires for both CS&F and then also big picture? Yeah.
Alexis and I were talking the other day about growing the teens program and just like how excited we are to like see that get bigger and to see more students like figuring out how to like the self-awareness of their body and how it moves and what it's capable of.
Yes.
I think that's one thing I'm really excited just as we're like dreaming and thinking through that. And then even for the adult side, I think for me to like gain confidence in coaching adults, is kind of what I'm looking forward to just as I'm learning the movements, as I'm going through the certification. Like, I just am excited to learn more about like all the mechanics of CrossFit and why that movement of functionality is so important in our lives and how I can better give people those tools to like do that in their own life. So I think for me personally, I think it's that confidence in coaching and then expounding on that teens program and just making it like really awesome. And
it's cool.
And then personally, man, I don't know. I think I want to like, I have so many dreams and hopes, like to be a really great aunt to my nephews. They're like growing up before my eyes, and Cooper's like my best friend in the whole world. If you ask him who his best bud is, he says BB, which is my aunt name. And just like growing in community. And just like having fun in my job. And I've been in my job since April now. And so kind of just like getting in the groove with that, do a whole year with it, to feel really confident headed into next summer. So
that's cool.
A lot of that and just spending a lot of good time outside with my people. So
Shelby, what is your primary emotion you're feeling now after the end of the conversation?
Relief.
Got through the hard stuff. We got here. Shelby, this has been so fun. And I know that people are going to just appreciate you even more. As we end, 60 seconds. We're going to do lightning round.
Oh, gosh.
Just boom, boom.
I always hear this, and it makes me nervous that you were going to do it to me.
You have to just, first thing you think of,
Okay.
you just have to go with it.
Okay.
Favorite movie right now?
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. Go-to crumble cookie flavor.
I don't like crumble. I think it's overrated. I guess, I don't know. I don't have a favorite. I don't ever eat crumble.
I'm giving you $100 right now. What are you spending it on?
Workout gear.
You could go work out with any professional CrossFit Games athlete. Who is it?
Tia Toomey.
Tia Claire Toomey. What is your go-to fast food restaurant?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay,
easy.
fun fact, I have a lot of Chick-fil-A points. If anyone ever wants to go to Chick-fil-A, please come join me.
Shelby, how many points do you have at Chick-fil-A?
Well, I started with 800,000. Now I'm down to like 700 and something because literally everyone uses my points.
Literally, she said 800,000 Chick-fil-A
I work
points.
for a very large ministry and ordered a lot of Chick-fil-A this summer.
And got all the points.
Yep.
Shelby, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color? Oh, green.
What is your favorite CrossFit movement?
Cleans.
What is your least favorite CrossFit movement?
I don't think I have one.
What music do you prefer to work out to?
Hip hop.
What CS&F coach do you want to give a shout out to?
Alexis Knight, my girl from Mississippi.
And last but not least, what do you want to tell the CS&F community?
I love you guys. I'm excited to dive in, and don't yell at me too much. I'm figuring it out. Give me some grace.
I love it.
But very excited.
Shelby, this has been fun, and hope you guys have found this helpful, and we'll see you in another episode later.
Bye guys.
Thank you for joining us today, friends. I hope today's conversation helped you gain a greater understanding of the mission at CS&F to change lives through fitness and nutrition. Check us out on social media or reach out at comingstrengthandfitness.com. We would love to help you take your health to the next level. We'll see you next time.